So Hogan comes out there and they boo, and then they boo some more, and then he talks, and they boo some more, and
Yeah.
they booing, and they booing, and they boo that man out the building. And I saw so many people proud of themselves for booing Hulk Hogan and on Twitter throwing parties and all this stuff. Like, I'm like, I don't know what kind of moral ground y'all have here because like if Hulk Hogan is the person you like to boo, shit, I got a couple more for you that you just like let slide by unbooed.
Like, what do you think was specific about him compared to like Undertaker or Triple H or watching WWE at all,
I was gonna say they
or watching pro wrestling at all?
I was gonna say the people in the crowd, you know, they paid tickets to a company that's getting sued for sex trafficking. So, you know, whatever. You can see also like people whether they know it or not. I think Hogan's stuff is just more visible. But Triple H was at Donald Trump's house last week. And then he did the I don't see color routine 3 months ago on video
Right.
in front of y'all. Undertaker did the big interview with Donald Trump, did the video with Kane dissing Batista and all this stuff, and basically all the other stuff. Hulk Hogan is the safe option for everyone to boo. He is the one where it's like, oh, like nobody really
Oh,
wants to.
he was at the Nazi MSG thing.
He's a,
That's what it is.
he's the safe. He's a safe choice to boo. I feel like because there. Look, we've got Triple H on video and photo the same way. He didn't go to court for it or anything, where it was discovered in a sex scandal or anything like that. But like for me, there's not that much difference between these people.
Saying you hate niggers on the camera and then like being in blackface. Yeah,
There's not much
I don't
difference
think there's much
here.
difference either.
So I'm like,
In fact, if you were to say like which one is which one is what is it like? You know how there's degrees of murder,
yeah,
right? Like premeditated murder, and like, and then one is like you're trying to cover, you know, and like the murder one's like you're trying to cover your tracks and that kind of stuff. Like, bro, you know the kind of process you got to go through to put paint on your bronzer or paint on yourself to make yourself look like you're black, compared to just saying the word nigger, like with the hard R. Like it's so much easier just to roll up, hit the hard R than it is to do that.
yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
And it's like I know like people are literally just picking and choosing here, but I think
They
they're
are.
just going with the safe option or whatever. And people have tried to blame this strictly on politics. It's not that. People have tried to blame this strictly on a generation gap or whatever. No, because like they bring Hogan back typically all the time. This happens to him often, and sometimes it doesn't happen to him.
Right.
So like I don't know. I think people are being very performative and like doing and being a little too patting themselves on the back a little bit too much because like they're not withdrawing their support of WWE. They're not like talking about how bad this was. I've done the work on Hogan for years and years and years. I feel like I'm probably one of the people that can analyze him in this situation the best around because it's almost like it all paid off when I said they were using Gene Okerlund to bring him back and test the waters and bring him back to Saudi Arabia at the same time as Jamal Khashoggi, so you couldn't be mad at two things at once. And then you send out there with Titus O'Neil as a nigger shield, essentially, to make sure he doesn't get booed, but he still gets booed.
Yeah.
These are all things that they've done with Hogan to try to protect this. They keep telling y'all they want to be in business with him, and now they're officially into deeper business with him with the beer. Now, is that going to change? That remains to be seen. Highly unlikely, though. But Hogan gets written in and out of their history and paraded around all the time. Like, it comes and it goes, but, like, they ultimately want to. This is not about Hulk Hogan, the person. This is about the legacy of Hulk Hogan, the ownership of the Hulk Hogan legacy that they can roll out and then make palatable to continue to sell.
But
This
don't
is
you
what
think
this is.
right? But don't you think that's weird because like they've untangled themselves from him before and kept it moving, and then they got themselves back into the situation right when they brought him back in 2019, and it's like, hey man, y'all just did a Netflix documentary to get away to detangle yourselves and bad man going Vince McMahon. If you can separate yourself from Vince McMahon, you can also separate yourself from Hulk Hogan.
I don't think they want to do that. And then also, like, you just see the way the corporation rolls up. It's like he's not doing anything that's going to get him looked at by TKO like he's off base. You notice that he showed up in that shirt when he was traveling, cut the promo, and it was like the MAGA powers and all this stuff. He took that shit off before he came out on television.
Rich, I don't know if you remember this. Like, I think the Kobe Covington fight a couple weeks ago,
he walked out there with him.
He walked out with Hogan.
Yeah.
Holding the American flag, and I think they played a real American. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this ain't a TKO don't give a fuck about if ain't gonna take Hogan off.
Right. So like, I'm kind of waiting for people to stop performing at this point. It's like y'all clearly don't care. So don't do these fake performative boos. And maybe this is just like one crowd that I'm kind of like isolating on this, but I just saw so many people on Twitter where it was like, it's so easy to just come out here and be like boo or fuck Hulk Hogan, right? And then just continue on, right? But
what about the ones that are less obvious that you need to be booing? Right? Like, as you mentioned, Hogan. I'm sorry, as you mentioned, Undertaker. As you mentioned, Triple H.
Like I didn't see near black person wrestling last night.
Like as Rock mentioned it, right? They set the arena gate record. Like, y'all put tons and tons and tons of money into these people that platformed these people. And then, like, after they embarrassed themselves, they continued to do it. Like
they win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the boos don't matter. Like, and it's funny. The one story that emerged from this was not CM Punk wrestling his first match on Raw and since 2014. Not that.
Yeah.
Not Roman Reigns working a match. Not The Rock basically blowing up all his storylines like a kamikaze. Hilarious. But all the trade articles and every mainstream publication, Hulk Hogan booed. The fucking Shade Room was posting about it, James. And I'm
what do you think that was about?
I think somebody pushed the button on it. They were like, you know what? Fuck it. Like,
so are you saying that this is the beginning of them being out of the Hulk Hogan business again?
It was so big and so noticeable and so many Hollywood people there. I guess they might feel like,
well, that's another big thing of why they do the LA thing, because like they have always been so desperate to like want to be seen as bigger than they are, because
like they was in their cosplaying.
We don't want to just be wrestling. We want to be the thing.
Look, they was in
one of the cool things.
They was in their cosplaying like they was Hollywood and all this stuff, right? But then Hogan comes around, and the quote unquote real fans that are in the building and all that stuff, they're booing Hogan, and it's almost like, oh shit, y'all fucking with us in front of company. That's that's kind of what this is. But Hogan is somebody that you can bring back. He'll easily travel and stuff like that. Some of those legends at his age, they can't walk and stuff like that. So like, you're not bringing Flair back. You're not doing this stuff. It's like they have this obsession.
Well, they can't bring Flair back because AEW brought Flair back even with this shit going on.
Yeah. I don't think he's with AEW anymore, but I feel feasibly they could bring him back.
But I mean, they had the fucking
woo energy
drink or whatever. Yeah.
So they have like, and you can link this back with Saturday Night's Main Event as well. They have this idea of the nostalgia, but they also have like these these black holes kind of in it, where it's like they don't talk about all the time periods. They selectively, it's like they go too far back sometimes. Sometimes they don't go far enough. And then it's like, really the people you should be bringing back are like the early 2000s people now. But
oh, wait, you mean it's just start bringing back Ruthless Aggression?
Those people are still around as regular wrestlers, like John Cena, and
Cena's on his farewell tour. Orton's still wrestling. Copeland's wrestling. Jericho's wrestling.
Yeah, so like really, those are the people that you should be bringing back. But like
Rey Mysterio's wrestling.
Yeah, so like when you go 2 generations back with a Hogan, it's like there was a fuck up here. Like, and I don't know exactly like what the fuck up was, because obviously on his face is like, all right, you continue to put this racist motherfucker on television, but like they don't think that because they don't think racism is real. Like, so remove that. Like, I'm about to do this hat off my head. Remove that, and then think about like how they like arrive at the point where they're like, I got it, Hulk Hogan, and then the room goes silent, and it's like, we could use Hogan, and then it's like, I don't know why they like you had John Cena there. What do you need Hulk Hogan for?
Well, I think there's a thing where like they're built. The company's so built on nostalgia that like all the nostalgia works, or all the nostalgia like from WrestleMania up still holds, right? So remember when they first got to Fox, right? I don't know if you remember this, but like they had like they were promoting it on Fox on the Fox halftime show, and like they had like Howie Long and Terry Bradshaw and Michael Strahan. They talk about their favorite wrestlers, and they were all saying like, and this is 2019. They were all saying shit like Hogan, Savage, I don't know if it's Ultimate Warrior, but like, they were all talking about like the Rock and Wrestling / Russell or beginning of WrestleMania era, and then like I don't even know if they even got to Austin in Rock.
That's crazy.
I don't know if they got that far. But that was just 5 years ago. So, like, yeah, if you have shit like that happening, then yeah, I see why they still want to have the Hogan thing. But it's like, how many shirts, how many Hulkamania or Hulk Rule shirts do you think you can sell in this day and age? That shit been stepped on.
Yeah, I look. I had the same question in 2019 where I would say, y'all haven't already bought all the Hogan merchandise like when he came back in 2015, like y'all just needed more. Like it's just interesting to see how far.
Hey, look, I'll say this. Maybe the thought of it, they think of it as like the secondary market for shoes. Like we got to drop and we got to keep dropping it every so many years because we just leave it available. Then it less people will want to be interested in buying it. But once you say there's only a certain amount for this amount of time and you don't know what's going to be going, people just buy the whole thing and you can mark up the price.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I guess my bottom line was like not enough people got booed. And some of the stuff, the performative stuff with Hogan getting booed it's performative. And I see a lot of the people that are very vocal about it. And I questioned like what else, like it's like, all right, I can see that you don't like Hogan. Well, what is it you don't like? And then if you start asking them to explain what they don't like about Hogan,
you be like, you also pointed to the motherfuckers did the same thing. Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah. Wrap this up, man.
Yep.